wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
All right, some quick sports. You know the Dolphins-Chief game, they're saying it got as cold as -9 degrees, and they say with the wind chill factor, it felt like -28. They said because of that, 15 people were hospitalized because it was so damn cold, which is crazy.
I felt like going to the hospital yesterday because it was so damn cold.
It was cold.
I ain't never felt no cold like that yesterday. I was like, am I getting old and my bones are brittle? Like, what the hell is happening?
And today's going to be worse.
Really?
Yeah, today's going to be worse.
Why? What you mean?
It's going to be colder and then snow tomorrow morning.
Yeah, this ain't the same cold that we grew up on, man. This ain't the same cold we used to light the kerosene heater for. You know what I'm saying? Open the stove sometime, but I grew up in a trailer, so it was a little bit different. None of that would warm up what's happening out here right now.
Yeah, and also,
Lord have mercy.
And we also got to send a rest in peace Golden State Warriors assistant coach, Dejan Milojevic.
Scary.
He passed away at the age of 46. They said he had a heart attack, and I believe they were all at a restaurant eating when it happened.
At a team dinner.
Team dinner, so
scary.
Definitely rest in peace. The NBA postponed their game.
That's why we be stressing going to see, Dr. Puma, man. When we was having those conversations, about going to Dr. Puma to do the Soaring heart scan.
Yeah.
You got to, man.
Now, if you haven't heard Dr. Puma up here, he actually scans your full heart. He puts the way that they do it is it doesn't take that long. It takes maybe 10 minutes, if that long.
Yeah, it's not that long.
It take 10 minutes, but they can tell you how the blood flows in your heart. If there's a problem, they can actually fix that problem right then and there, which is pretty cool. They tell you, what age your heart is, meaning if you have a younger heart, if it's an older heart, if you have blockage.
It's just cardiac imaging for early detection and treatment of heart disease.
Yep.
Simple as that.
You should definitely get it checked.
Absolutely.
All right. Morning, Tiz.
Good morning, Charlamagne the guy. Good morning, DJ Envy.
Let's jump right in. Let's talk about these public colleges.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I just wanted to throw out a quick fact right quick on the heart disease. 1 in 4 males die of heart disease every year. So thank you guys for continuing to advocate for our health. Let's go right into Florida. They banned Division of Equity and Inclusion. So this is a really, really big issue that's going on now in Florida. Let's take a listen to the report.
The Florida Board of Education passed a rule banning the use of public funds for diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. This would impact schools in the Florida college system. So locally, that includes Florida State College at Jacksonville and St. John's River State College. The board also decided to replace the Principles of Sociology class with an American History class in an effort to provide what it calls accurate and factual accounts of the past instead of exposing students to what it describes as woke ideology.
Damn.
So again, banning diversity, equity, and inclusion. Florida, that is what they're doing now. Civil rights advocate and attorney Ben Crump immediately denounced the move. He said, we'll continue to go down a misguided path of censorship in Florida. I also spoke to Florida State Representative LaVon Bracey last night, and this is what she had to say.
While I am gravely disappointed that the State Board of Education and Commissioner Manny Diaz has determined that DEI does not have a place in our institutions of higher learning here in the state of Florida, I am not surprised. I am not surprised that the same entity that just a few months ago talked about the benefits of enslavement is the same entity that doesn't see the benefits of DEI in our institutions of higher learning. My question is to the people of Florida, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to rage against the machine? Because the best way to rage against the machine is by voting. The best way to show that we are not pleased with these new policy, practices, procedures, and people that are in power is by lifting our voices through our vote. So my question to Florida is what you're going to do about it.
Rick James said they should have never gave you niggas money. Florida public colleges said they will make sure they never will. Damn, that's basically what's happening. Mm-hmm. That's why it don't make no sense when elected officials run around here saying things like, America is not a racist country. And I was saying yesterday, racism is systematic and racism is systemic and structural. And this is just another example of racism being systemic and structural.
Right. Actual systems. Folks love saying, how can you say that? Because you have money. Again, we're not talking about individuals. We're talking about systems. And you're absolutely right. And you'll hear the acronym again, DEI, but it's really important that we name that and actually call it diversity, equity, and inclusion. That is literally, what they're going against. And also they took out the Principles of Sociology course and they replaced that with General Studies American History course. So I talked to our good friend, Dr. Steve Perry, the founder of Capital Prep, and this is what he had to say.
Banning sociology or African American studies or in any way diminishing the opportunity for both Black and white children to learn about the struggles and overcoming of circumstances by any educational entity is anti-intellectual and anti-truth. Florida has done what it is doing, which is trying to whitewash history. They didn't invent it, but they damn sure are perfecting it. And we, as a community, have an obligation to make sure that we speak up boldly to ensure that all children of all races understand that this country has positives and negatives. It doesn't.
That was it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was it. Mm-hmm.
Salute to Dr. Steve Perry.
Yeah. So bad things going on in Florida as far as that. And remember, Ron DeSantis is running for president of the United States and talks often about how if he were elected president, this is what he would continue to do throughout the nation.
All right. Well, that is.
Well, thank God he's not going to be elected
news.
president. He's not even going to be the GOP nominee. So we don't got to worry about that.
All right. Now, Tez, we'll see you next hour. What we talking next hour?
Next hour, I want to give you some updates on the Biden administration and menthol cigarettes. They're talking about banning that. We're going to talk a little bit about how that affects Black people. And then there is some good news, at least coming from the Biden administration, as far as your overdraft fees that I think are important that people might want to know.
Yeah, I'm not a smoker, so I don't know the difference between menthol cigarettes and regular cigarettes. So hopefully you can tell me next hour because I have no idea the difference, if there even is a difference.
Y'all don't need to be
Big deal.
smoking anyway. So I don't give a damn what they do with cigarettes. Sorry. Somebody out there freezing their ass off right now,
Right now.
trying to get a little smoking. You put that down. You
Now, I
ain't
don't-
supposed to have that anyway.
And I don't think it's fair that people that
they
smoke
get
at a
extra
workplace,
breaks?
they get extra breaks all throughout
Yes,
the day.
I
They
know
go
you don't
downstairs
say
for
that.
20, 30 minutes and they get to smoke and then they come back. Like, that's not fair. Everybody should be able to take a break, right? We'll discuss next hour, all right? Everybody else, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. Let's get back in some front page news. What up, Tiz?
Good morning, DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy.
Let's start right off with Biden.
Yeah, the Biden administration must decide soon on menthol cigarettes or the risk proposed as the ban continues to be debated. Now, health advocates and activists plan to intensify their push for the ban on menthol cigarettes this week. They're putting pressure on the White House ahead of what they call a critical deadline. Now, advocates say that if this decision is not made by January 20th, it will affect, how they're able to move forward because it takes about a year for this implementation. Now, menthol cigarettes has emerged as a pivotal one for President Joe Biden, who is facing an election year, as we know, with worries that this may diminish enthusiasm for Black voters. Now, Black smokers are disproportionately more affected to smoke because they are more likely to smoke menthol cigarettes. However, some civil rights with ties to the tobacco industry have raised concern, saying that this will criminalize people for smoking menthol and could lead to deadly police interactions. But again, that's why we need police reform. In my personal opinion, I don't think that's a reason why we should be talking about banning these cigarettes, but it is an important point. Now, the NAACP and the Congressional Black Caucus have endorsed this ban, along with dozens of public health experts, saying that it would save hundreds of Black lives. Now, I spoke to Oklahoma City NAACP President Garland Pruitt last night, and he said there's a reason why the tobacco companies were forced to pay $206 billion. He said they knew exactly what they were doing, and he had this to say as well.
They knew that they were killing and doing the things that they shouldn't have been doing, and that's why we end up having proposals that are correcting and putting things in place. And last year alone, over the last few years, $100 billion has already been paid. So anytime you can get rid of Joe Campbell, the Marlboro Man, airlines have banned smoking, restaurants banning smoking, there's a message to the madness. The menthol is addictive. It's more addictive than the regular cigarette. And our kids are following Pookie and Ray Ray and the rest of them. It's needed. We as activists, we as organizations, we as individuals have got to put forward attention to the health of our society. And when we do that, we're on the right track. We're doing the things that are needed and necessary.
I have no problem with this. Ban all tobacco use, ban all cigarettes. Y'all don't need to be smoking that garbage anyway, okay? When you look at smoking tobacco and the cancer risks that come with smoking tobacco, smoking causes about 20% of all cancers and 30% of all cancer deaths in the United States. And 80%, thinking about this, 80% of lung cancers, okay, and as well as about 80% of lung cancer deaths are due to smoking. I don't give a damn about y'all and y'all smoking habits. It's disgusting. It's nasty.
Yeah, I don't understand how it hasn't been banned a long time ago. I mean, they say
Because
that
it makes billions of dollars.
But if it causes cancer,
It makes billions
a
of
deadly
dollars.
disease that can kill you.
I'm with you.
How do we still allow people to smoke
Because
it?
it makes billions of dollars.
We know it's addictive.
It
So
makes
Yeah.
billions. That's why. That's the answer.
But it makes billions of dollars, but it kills people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like everything
by
else.
the
Just like
way-
all this fast food and everything else. All these GMO products. Yes. They make billions of dollars. We know it kills people, but as long as it makes us money. Yes. That's
And
that's
by
the
the way,
mentality.
Yeah, and by the way, this settlement was in 1998, and so they've been paying out this for the last 25 years. The settlement in 1998 said to pay $206 billion for the next 25 years. So again, this was already established on the books long ago. Rest in peace to my mother that did die of lung cancer in 2016. So this is very, very personal to me. And if you've ever had to watch someone in their lung literally collapse and you have to take them off of that machine, it's very heartbreaking. And again, you do put responsibility on people deciding to smoke. But again, when we're talking about an addiction, when we're talking about a disease, and some people just can't stop. She tried, DJ Amy. She really did. She tried multiple times, but just could not break the habit. I also spoke to Dr. Torrento Robinson. He's the Northern Province Health and Wellness Chair for Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and he supports the ban, and he just had this to say as well.
Black people suffer the most from tobacco use. We have significantly higher rates of mortality from smoking-related illnesses, such as lung cancer, heart disease, and stroke. It's literally a life or death matter for the Black community. The ban will have a big impact on curbing smoking habits and recruiting new smokers such as our youth. It's imperative that the President of the United States act now for the future of Black America.
Now, Envy, you asked what is the difference between menthol cigarettes and regular cigarettes. Now, the menthol cigarettes has a minty coolness of the menthol that covers up the harshness of the cigarette, so people smoke more. As a result, menthol cigarettes inhale more deeply. They smoke more cigarettes, and that means it makes it harder to quit over a lifetime, and they inhale more toxic chemicals. I also I wanted to let people know a lot of the popular cigarettes that African Americans smoke, 42% of Black adults smoke Newport, while 84% of young African Americans smoke this brand as well. So this is just an example of how prevalent this is in our community. So the most popular cigarettes in the African American community, now this applies to everybody, all races, but I did want to point this out: Newport, Cool, and Marlboro. So all of those are three popular brands, and overwhelming amount smokes menthol of those brands.
Why are they making this a Black thing again? Because they said we smoke the most menthol?
Correct. They're saying that it overwhelmingly affects African Americans more than anybody else because of the addiction to the menthol, because our top cigarettes that we smoke are menthol cigarettes. So it's not just a Black issue, but advocates are pointing out, saying that it has impacted, African Americans more than most.
I was just looking at who smokes the most, and it damn sure wasn't Black people. So I was just wondering,
Yes.
why?
Disproportionately. So that's where the conversation always comes into disproportionately, where we're saying, just like they say, who's on welfare the most, or who has the most abortions, and Black people. No, actually, when we talk about disproportionately affecting, meaning it affects our community disproportionately, is their argument.
Yeah, but I also feel like if you know better, you got to do better, right? My parents smoked for 20 years, 15 to 20 years, and they were able to give it up. And I just feel like in this new generation, we have to ban it if it's killing people at alarming rates. Like the price of cigarettes are like $16, $20, $24 a carton. It's ridiculous.
How old are you? How old are you? 57.
957, but
I'm 45. Right. This problem has been going on way before us.
Yeah, you're right. But things have changed. I'm like back then.
Not really.
Parents smoked when people were pregnant back then. Like they smoked in the car. They smoked at the workplace.
What's changed?
Well, you can't smoke. You can't smoke in the workplace.
But you said parents still. I see parents smoking in cars all the time.
With kids?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
I know people that smoke when they're pregnant right now. Like, smoking is disgusting. And you know what else people don't never talk about? Cigarette doesn't just cause cancer in the lungs. Cigarette smoke can literally cause cancer almost anywhere in your body.
And secondhand smoke is just as deadly.
I mean, that's what they used to tell us when they was kids. I don't disagree with that.
All right.
And heart disease. You guys also talked about heart disease, so wanted to put that out there as well, that the smoking causes the blood to thicken and form clots in the veins and arteries. So nothing positive comes from smoking.
Nothing. It's disgusting.
All right. Well, that is front page news. I know you had another story, but we got to get to it tomorrow.
No problem.
Thank you, Tez.
And make sure you follow Tesla Figaro on all social media platforms at Tesla Figaro, and subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network.
All right. Now, when we come back, Piers Morgan will be joining us. We're going to kick it with Piers Morgan, so don't move. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.